The biggest problem in my life right now is not that I don't have a girlfriend. It's not having infinite money in my bank account. It's not that you most likely haven't already smashed the like button on this video. Go ahead and do that now, by the way. It's that I don't have enough pipeline heading into Q1 2022. I recently promoted to a senior account executive role in my software sales job, and I have a big quarterly target, $216,000. The only reason I won't hit quota, if I don't, I'm trying to, is that I don't have enough pipeline because I maxed it all out in Q4. It was my fault, my problem for not proactively prospecting more at the end of the year, but as you know, the holidays typically get in the way, and now I'm just making excuses. In this video here today, I'm gonna talk about my strategy and how to effectively prospect in software sales, and I think that this strategy is universally applicable to all industries, all verticals. I'm gonna condense my 2 years of SDR knowledge and expertise into a 6 to 8 minute video here today. Beginning with prospecting, the definition, I looked it up before this video. Prospecting is in search of, to go after, to find. Prospecting, we are hunting for pipeline. Pipeline is essentially the amount that a deal could close for. The more pipeline you have, the more deals you have, the more revenue you're ultimately going to recognize. And as I think about prospecting in my job, I look at it as account-based prospecting, going after whales, or warm lead-based prospecting. I'm gonna start with account-based prospecting because this is universally applicable to all salespeople. You have a territory, you have a list of accounts, you have a book of business. For me, this looks like 1,700 companies in my patch, essentially companies that my name rolls up to and I can actually sell into. As I look at my book of business, we use Salesforce as our CRM, customer relationship management system. If you don't have one, you're probably super inefficient and this video may not be applicable to you. But I have my book of business, my account list loaded into Salesforce. I run a report that I call Trent's Account Report, and I put in columns, essentially filters to look at the accounts because 1,700 is a lot and I can't go one by one. So what I do is I put a filter for revenue, I put a filter for employee count, I put a filter for industry, and I put a filter for existing spend. And we'll come back to that in a moment because if there's anything you take away from this video, cross-sell and upsells with existing spend is something you should be doing today. I look at the book of business and my goal is to refine this list of 1,700 companies into a list of 50 high priority companies that I'm focused on, and then further refine that list into a top 10. In order for a company to make it to my top 10 list, I need to see me being able to close between $50,000 or $100,000 in revenue. There needs to be a big opportunity there to be worth my time. So what I do is I look at what companies have the most revenue. The more revenue, the more money they have to spend. My product line happens to be priced based on employee count. So naturally, the more employees, the more I'm going to be able to charge. So go ahead and run a list. And then based on that, look at the industries that you feel most comfortable with. Is it manufacturing? Is it high tech? Is it financial services? And refine to a use case. If you feel really good about an industry and you understand that use case, you understand the problems, then you should prioritize the most important accounts in that vertical. And some other areas to look at are growth. So what has employee count been over the past year? Does the company have any sort of funding? And as we start to look at some of these ancillary items, Salesforce data usually isn't up to date. So we use a tool called Zoom Info that's really helpful to find that information. But ultimately, I take the 1,700 accounts, I refine it to 50, I refine it to top 10 of essentially, that's where we're going. That's new logos that we're trying to get to spend more money. I'm also looking for cross-sell and upsell. Cross-sells is when an account in your book of business has existing spend with your company. So maybe you have product line A and product line B, and one of the companies spends $10,000 a year with product line A, but maybe you can reach out to them and say, hey, I want you to buy product line B. That is called a cross-sell. For me at my company, my colleagues sell into marketing, I sell into human resources. So whenever marketing has a license, I'm reaching out because I want to get a meeting with human resources. An upsell is essentially reaching out to that customer in product line A and getting them to increase their spend in product line A. It's much easier to sell to an existing customer than it is to acquire a new one. As we look at warm lead-based prospecting, this is my personal favorite, and this is when we really put the SDR skills to the test. You can look at 1,700 accounts, you can identify the accounts. Once you identify them, you then go into LinkedIn Navigator, you go into Zoom Info, you find the right people, you add them to your sequences, you start calling, emailing. That's all great. I like to find the warmth. It's much easier to call a friend who sees my name on the screen and they're gonna answer, opposed to calling someone who doesn't know who I am. That's called a cold call. And we talk a lot about cold calling on this channel. If you like cold call videos, if you like sales videos in general, and if you're enjoying the video today, make sure to subscribe to the channel now if you haven't already. As we think about warm leads, there's a couple reports I like to run in Salesforce, and this is something I'm actively doing today. Number one is a lost opportunity report, essentially running a list of all of the contacts in your book of business who have had a qualified opportunity in the past, but for some reason it died. It did not happen. Maybe they didn't have budget, maybe it wasn't the right timing, maybe their boss got fired and they put the entire initiative on hold, whatever it may be. Run a list of all of those people who have spoken with your company in the past that had a qualified opportunity. That's called lost opportunities. That is low-hanging fruit. It's easy to set up those meetings. Hey, we had new updates. I'd like to set up a meeting to talk about what's top of mind for you. Okay, I'll send you over the calendar invite now. Lost opportunities. Number two is interesting moments. This is another personal favorite of mine, and this may or may not make sense to what you're doing today. So we have a marketing team. We have an inbound, we have an outbound SDR team. They help with all the pipeline, but me as an account executive, I'm still doing my own prospecting, and this is my bread and butter, interesting moments. Essentially within Salesforce, I'm able to run a report to see all of the contacts who have either visited my website, downloaded content, attended a webinar, an interesting moment. They essentially interacted with my brand. I run a report and I'm looking at this intraday, intra-week. I also like to run it back and look at it over the last 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and find all those people added into my sequence, because at one point, if they were interested in the content, let's get a call set up with them today. Those are the two key reports you can run as well. Another bonus report is a title report. So essentially, run a report for all titles equal VP of HR, run the report, and you can bulk add a bunch of people to your sequence, whatever it may be. We use a tool called Outreach to add prospects to sequence. There's a whole video we could do on automated voice messages, on what do cold emails look like, how many calls should you be making a day, when should you be calling, and we'll make plenty more videos like that. Just let me know down in the comments below, what are your top questions and what specific niche videos would you like to see? I wanted to make this video here today because so many of you have come off the holidays and you're like, wait, we're already in the last week of January. I'm behind on pipeline. I got to get my numbers up. I'm in the same boat with you. Let's get the numbers up starting today, starting tomorrow. We're about to hit the phones. Let's get the volume. If you enjoyed this video here today and if you haven't already, smash the like button now. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you'd like to join networks. And of course, we're putting the tick in the TikToks. Follow me on TikTok as well. Have a great rest of your day. Good luck. Let's go get it. Bye.